been on any panels or is this her first talk? Did she talk yesterday?
No, first talk.
Did she talk Monday?
How's that?
Level 1.
And my voice changes a lot as we're going into meditation too. So, is there someone who does audio like volume at the same time? I might be all over the place just going into like
So
the.
the light, this is what most people are the light. Level 1.
You want me to talk about light codes?
Just to introduce it, right? And
Okay.
how it came about.
Okay, I'll do
I'm
the
Michelle
story.
Anderson. So, yeah, usually I introduce people I know. When I don't know someone, I like to get her and ask them. Just how do you like to be introduced? And I don't like to read, you know.
I'm Tigress of the Light.
Tigress of the Light.
Yeah.
And you go by Laara.
Laara. I'm Jackie, Laara, Herod, or you can just say Laara. It's all good. Yeah. And Tigress of the Light. But it's all good.
Would you rather scoot up a little to the mic, or
Most
should I
people
put
have
the mic up
already
on the
identified.
I don't want to fall off the stage. How's that? Is that okay? No. Is that okay? Alright. Well, he's a magic man, so
Where is the
phone is right there. And I have it on airplane, so you're good to go.
That's all good. That's always a nice thing to remind everyone.
Airplane mode? Well, actually, yes. We should.
What time is she?
6.
6 o'clock. Okay. Do you want to just sing a little song?
Hi there, everyone.
Say hello.
How's it all going? Great to see all your smiling faces. Well, I can definitely speak louder. But I also know that we're going to be doing a meditation and my voice is going to go soft. As I drop into my speaking voice.
Your hair's from
Do you want to use this one? Yeah.
Got 4 minutes. Doesn't slip out of there easy.
He got it locked in really well.
Ah,
No, maybe not. Maybe I better not.
why is that? Won't come out?
Well, it's because it's all nicely tied up.
Oh, I see.
But you can sit here.
I don't want to disrupt you.
Oh, no.
Have a seat.
Make it all weird.
I'll be right there. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Just bend over and be like, hey, everybody. No.
I don't want to mess you up.
These are your glasses?
Mm-hmm. I'll pick them up. Do you want me to have them?
No, I just wanted to make sure you.
I know, it's really hard to tell. That's it. You're so cute. Thank you. I love having these few minutes ahead of time, yeah. Maybe what I'll do, I can just
I can just start. I keep seeing you. How's your back? Hello, everyone. We're 2 minutes early, but I want to give you all the time that you can absorb with Laara. So I'm Michelle Anderson with Awakening Code Radio on KXFM in Laguna Beach. How many of you have been to a Conscious Life Expo before?
For 16
Yeah. Wow, for 16 years?
60.
Wow. This is our 21st year, and I don't know if you can feel it, but I can definitely feel there's some sort of an up-leveling happening here. And there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of unity consciousness, and it feels so good to be with all of you. So how many of you have heard Laara do a meditation or a fractilline healing? No, look at this. This is a perfect audience. You're so ripe. So she also goes by Tigress of the Light, and she's going to be taking you to a level 1 fractilline healing. Will you be talking about light codes? She's going to talk a little bit about the light codes. And I don't want to take any more of your time. I want her to get right into what she's doing. But I think, how many of you came here because you read her course description and bio in the, that's what I thought. That's why I don't usually read it, because you've already read it, right? So without further ado, I would love for you to give a warm round of applause for Laara.
You're in for a treat.
All right, so great to see all of you here. Thanks so much for coming. We are taking a seat here today because we're going to be diving into Fractilline healing, which is just an amazing experience. I'm really excited to share with all of you today. So just a little bit about myself. My name is Laara, Jackie Laara Herod. I am the Tigress of the Light. I'm from Vancouver Island, Canada. Came all the way from Vancouver Island to see all you guys. How many of you have been to Vancouver Island? Show of hands. All right. That's a lot. That's awesome. Well, we welcome all of you lovely people walking in the room right now. Thank you so much for coming. You can find a nice, comfortable seat. We'd like this to be a nice, gentle, warm experience for everyone today. Okay, so we want this to feel like your living room. Nice and comfortable, but I also would like to encourage you to ask questions. I love questions. This helps me to see where everybody's at and what you all want to learn about as well. So we're just letting some more people trickle in and get settled. So as I was saying, I'm Laara, and I have been channeling spirit for pretty much my whole life, although I didn't realize it. It was kind of natural to me. And I remember now having a conversation with spirit. I was about 4 or 5 years old and having some troubles being able to navigate working with spirit and living in this 3-dimensional life. So I cut it off. And when I was in my early teens, I sort of picked it back up again. It became interesting. Got the tarot cards, got the crystals, the pendulums, and started playing with all the toys and getting excited. And as I embarked on this healing journey, this connection with spirit became stronger. Now, I was a international competitive level show jumper for about 20 years. Okay. And during this experience working with the horses, if any of you have worked with horses, they're very healing animals, they're very powerful animals, and I know actually, that they were a big part of my journey in healing and awakening and tapping into my personal unique gifts and talents and all that I came here to do. But I suffered a dramatic accident, actually, and hurt my back, which pretty much shut down my life for about 6 years. And now we're talking Shut down as in I had no life. I could barely sleep, I could barely eat. I was in chronic pain for 3 of those years, and then 3 years after that I was getting off the medications that they put me on. And at this point I can say that I'm really strong and healthy, and I work very hard every day to continue that journey. But this all happened in 2009 was the accident. 2012 was when I had that boom, have to get cleaned up, get on mission, and it was as if I was asleep for those 3 years. And then after that, we were moving more and more into connecting with spirit and connecting into my true path. So as I was understanding energy more, I got into Reiki, got the Reiki levels, that was all awesome. And one night in 2015, I was awoken by spirit, 3 o'clock in the morning, and saw these silver light code symbols floating around my room. This was my introduction to light language. So I wrote those down, had no idea what they were. Took another 3 years before I understood that they were actually light codes. And then I've been on a journey of understanding light language and light codes ever since. So that's how I developed my books, The Little Book of Light Codes and Light Codes for the Soul. Thank you for turning me up. That's great. So that's how that all came to be. And as I embarked on the journey of learning and understanding light language and channeling all these different forms of energy, Spirit woke me up again in the middle of the night, get out of bed. Whoa, okay. So we get out of bed, and they said, are you ready to write some stuff down? I'm like, okay. So I get out my pen and paper, and I just start channeling. I can't even write fast enough to write down what they were like sharing with me. And what they were sharing with me was fractalline healing. And so fractalline healing is a meditative modality that is in the quantum realms of unlimited possibility, with unlimited potential. What I've come to learn about it is that it is a very structured space. It is a new, we have to put that in air quotes because, of course, time is a funny thing, isn't it? So it's a new relative healing modality, new to this time and space, that is highly protected. Okay, there are beings of the light that look after this space so that we can enter into this space and trust that no matter what we're dealing with, whatever we're wanting to do in this space, we're going to be looked after, we're going to be protected, we're going to be supported. Okay, so what happens is it's this beautiful crystalline system. Fractilline is a compound word that we created to describe the system. Fractal, as in a real fractal, and then line from crystalline. So it's a fractal crystalline system. And it's called, we use the word fractal because the levels, as you go deeper into the system, you go deeper and deeper and deeper, just like the fractal goes deeper and deeper and deeper as you go into a fractal. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when we begin this meditation, we go into a rather expansive state. However, we're staying very grounded. We're staying very connected to our body because where we're at in time and space right now is we're entering into the new world, the new earth. We're having to bring in all these new codes, whether they're light codes or however you want to look at it. But you're bringing in all these new energies. And we as light workers have to anchor these energies onto the planet. We need them in our body. We can't be floating around up here, and oh, how much we would love to just do that, by the way. I'm totally one of those people. But grounding, apparently, is an important thing. So first we have to ground, and then we can get into our expanded nature, where we really like to be, and then we can practice this expansion and contraction as we anchor in all these great new energies. So fractalline healing starts with a grounding practice, which we're all going to do today. We're going to get nice and grounded, and it connects into our heart space. And then we enter into this new space for all of you. And it's this beautiful crystal grid. This is where we're starting. It's this beautiful crystal grid. It is translucent in nature, that it's all the colors of the rainbow. It's like sunlight reflecting off a water droplet, how you can have the whole rainbow. So very exquisite. And the nature of these grid lines is that they're vibrating and resonating and moving. They're alive. They're alive with love. Okay, they're very pure in their intent. And when we get to the edge of this grid line, I like to describe it as like three-dimensional graph paper. So it's all, multi-dimensional. We can actually enter into one of these lines. So we discover that, it's not just this thin line, it's actually huge, and there's space for me. So we can dive in. And the moment we cross that barrier of the grid line and enter into this system, our chakras are aligned and our etheric matrix is aligned. Boom, boom. Okay? Now, who's an energy healer here? Who does hands-on healing? Okay. If you have ever done or received a chakra alignment, this can take 20 minutes, right? If you do an etheric matrix alignment to the physical body, that's another session that's usually about 20 minutes, okay? If you do it really thoroughly. So when we enter into Fractilline healing, these things happen instantaneously. The reason is because the system of Fractilline healing is preparing you for what you're about to do. Okay? So that's a nice byproduct, right? Of just entering the system. So now we've entered into this grid line, and I'm describing all this to you because we're going to be doing this, and I'd like you to have an idea of what's coming, right? So you're going to be then suspended in this beautiful energy, very supportive. I like to describe it as like being held in this cocoon that's just so sweet and lovely, yet it's entirely infinite in its expansion. So you have all the freedom to move around. I actually encourage students to go run. Can you fly? Can you swim? Can you do some flips maybe? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to ride a dragon? You can call in a dragon. Do you want to sit down and write some notes? Like, whatever. You want to build a castle? That's another one of my favorites. Build a castle. You can literally do whatever you like within this space. But the one caveat is that it is everything that we do has to be in alignment with the highest good for all and in alignment with love. It's governed by universal law of love. Okay? And there's beings, like I said in the beginning, that protect this space, that are actually protecting us from ourselves. Because we can go in with a very honest thought of, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but it might not actually be for the best, right? And we can be very innocent in that and not mean to ever cause any disruption, right? So it's nice to have a little buffer there. So that's what all those beings are for. Now also within this space, we can heal ourselves and others. We can connect with Akashic records. We can work with ascended masters, your guides, your higher self, someone else's higher self. What do you want to do? It's literally everything. If you have been studying spiritualism and all the different forms of spirituality and religions and different practices and things like this, I've done yoga in the grid of Fractilline healing, okay? Like, you can bring all of what you've learned into this space. It's like the toolbox. You can bring everything inside and work with it, and it's going to be amplified because of the nature of the location, and it's also going to be supported by the laws of the universe, by laws of love, and by all the ascended masters and beings who take care of this space, who guard this space. So it's profound, and I never get tired of exploring it either. So it can be very plain, but then on another day, maybe your higher aspects want you to see something or experience something, so it's created for you. I like to describe it as the room of requirement. If you're familiar with Harry Potter, who knows Harry Potter? Yeah? Okay, so the room of requirement, which turns into whatever it is that you need, that's what Fractilline healing, especially in the grid, which is where we're going, level 1, is like. Now, does anybody have any questions at this point? Yes?
Yeah, you mentioned that they are keeping the space to make sure that there is no influence in some way in the physical. Does it, what happened in the breed has an effect on the 3D after?
Yes, so everything that's happening in the grid is absolutely connected with the physical realm, which is why we do the grounding practice first, so that we're first anchored in our body. We're not astral projecting. We are staying in our body and then expanding while staying connected. So any of the healings that we do within this space happen within the body as well. And the beings that are protecting it are simply just protecting us from ourselves and also guarding the space so that it stays in this high integrity. For my being, my personal being as Tigress of the Light, integrity is the most fundamental of importance. It is top for me. So the beings that I work with and the beings that work with this space is also like that for them. And we're coming from this space of love, you know, like real love, like source love. Yeah.
Is it similar to like astral travel?
Astral travel, for most people who astral travel, we go out through the crown and we leave our body, and then there's like this tether that we need to keep. We don't actually leave our body. Our body stays, we stay in our body. And the body will, for some of us, while we're in this meditation, will talk to us too. So you might find a little twinge there, a little thing here, you know. And this can be that energy is being released, or it could be, oh, maybe you should pay attention to that. There could be something coming up. But we don't leave our body.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that, in that way, we continue to anchor all of these wonderful frequencies, vibrations, energies into our being. So this body can resonate at a higher frequency. Every time we go in, we're raising our frequency. So just by entering, like the chakras align, etheric matrix aligns, and then we get to meet something very special, which I'm holding out as a bit of a surprise, that just amplifies like crazy. So I'm really excited to share you that, but we're going to wait for the meditation for that one. You have a question?
Yes. So eventually we can go up there ourselves from wherever we are?
Yes. So today what I'd like to offer you is this meditation where we're going to get grounded together, and we're going to break this up. Okay, so we're going to do a grounding practice first, and then we're going to chat a little bit more because I want to tell you about the other levels. Okay, and then we're going to go in and we're going to go into Fractilline healing and work with some of the energies that are in there naturally. Okay. Another thing I wanted to mention was, if you are not an energy healer, if this is all totally new to you, and you have no formal training, let's say, the spaces within Fractilline healing will teach you. So, because you have access to all these amazing guides, you have access to amazing ascended masters and so forth. So if you don't know how to do something, you can ask, and you will be shown. Yes?
So you mentioned earlier that when you were spoken to and you heard, wake up and you saw the codes, I think I probably received something, but I'm not sure. How do I know? How can I identify it that it is, something like codes? And it sounds like you were able to hear it clearly, right? Like the instructions that were given to you. But what if I think I don't hear it? I don't know.
Okay, so the question is basically, how do we channel? And so for somebody who is trying to understand what they're receiving, first we need to know that we can ask. We have to keep asking for clarity. And that even can be a mantra. I choose clarity, I choose clarity, I choose clarity. We can also practice. I like spirit writing as a form of free writing. So basically, I will ask a question like, what the hell is going on? And I will get answers. I'll get an energy moving through me that my brain can translate into English. So I don't have the auditory sensory perception, I don't have that clairaudience. But what I do have is that knowing, the clairsentience, and it comes through, then I'm able to translate it into something that I understand. And the reason why that works for me is because now when I channel light language or anything, I'm getting the feeling of it, and then it's particularly good for light language, but if you guys want to learn more about light language, we can talk about that on tomorrow night at 6 specifically. But the energy is just coming through, and then you have to put sound or words to it. You have to be able to be open enough with practice to be able to do that. And it is practice, it's a practice, and it's a gift and a talent that can be developed, and you can ask for it. You can ask your guidance team for that. And Fractilline Healing is a really good place to go in and ask for those things. Because you've entered into a very sacred, highly sacred space that's protected, and you can go in and say, hey, I want to know how to translate this, or I would love to connect to light language, or I would love to connect with my guides. I would love to communicate with my guides, or whoever it is that you want to work with, your ancestors even, right? Living and dead, by the way. So this space is wonderful for all of the ways that we want to develop ourselves. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Just getting back to the light language, because I've been channeling light language for about 2 years now, and I'm still, I just want to conquer the second person I get to ask information about that, is when I've been told like I shouldn't always understand absolutely everything, just because the experience I get in groups is different people, or it's like music. Different people pick up a very different message from just one channel.
Yes.
And like, it was really nice for you to say how I'm more like you. I will just get an essence in the parable of what I just channeled, or feeling, or emotion. Unless I'm actually doing it for someone, then sometimes it's just, I'm a vessel, and whatever they're getting, I tell them just go inward. You know, the messages are for you. I'm just there to, and so when I know that when it comes out in big groups, it's often linked to a communal energy. It's not about, right? It's not.
Yes. Yeah. So it would be like a group healing.
Is it me,
or
my higher self channeling, or is it because I have had the experience, but around, I don't know if you know Matthias, the Stefano. I've had experience to channel in his groups and have entities come in. It feels very different between the entity that comes through the body and.
Yes, so we can channel entities, and we can channel higher aspects, and we can channel energy. Okay, so when we channel light language, the reason why there can be multiple interpretations is because a big energy has just come through, and then how a person, an individual person, relates to that energy will be different from the next person. Doesn't mean that someone translated it wrong or right. Both of them are right. And then, just to complicate things further, there are times when we channel light language and it's not meant to have a message. It's meant strictly to be a healing energy. So that's where we get a lot of confusion. Yeah. Okay. All right.
When do we do it?
All right, so let's do our grounding practice, and then we can chat some more. Just take a moment, feet flat on the floor if that's comfortable for you, but honestly, it doesn't matter. And what we're going to be doing is pulling earth energy up through the bottoms of our feet. We have chakras on the bottoms of our feet. let's draw naturally earth energy into our body. So we're going to be in stages here. We'll be pulling the earth energy up through our entire body all the way up to our crown. That's what we're doing. Okay, so you can have your eyes open or closed. It's completely up to you. And let's just slow our breath and bring our attention to our feet. And on your inhale, I'd like you to imagine, feel, sense earth energy just coming into the bottoms of your feet. On the inhale, it's very natural, you don't need to force anything. Feel the bottom of your feet. And on the exhale, you're just going to relax. That energy might flow down, it might expand in your feet. Either way is just fine. You can just notice. And now we're going to pull that earth energy up a little higher. So let's pull that earth energy all the way up to your knees. So on the inhale, you're going to pull that earth energy up all the way to your knees. And on your exhale, you're just going to relax. Nothing to do but just relax, witness, observe, perceive. You might find it helpful to engage the muscles in your legs to help draw that earth energy up. And for some of you, it may be better just to remain relaxed. Either way is perfectly fine. On your next inhale, we're going to pull that earth energy up all the way to our hips. Drawing that earth energy up. Feel, sense, perceive that earth energy that's very healing, very grounding, very natural to the body. Tracking that energy coming up through the bottoms of your feet, up your lower legs, all the way to your hips. And the exhale, you're just relaxing. It might flow back down, it might expand in your legs. And then we'll be drawing that earth energy to our belly button. Next inhale, nice big inhale, draws that earth energy up from the bottoms of the feet. All the way up the leg, past the hips, into the belly button area. Exhales, just relax. This energy can feel really nice on the low back. And then now we'll be drawing that earth energy up to the heart space. So inhale, draws that earth energy up through the bottoms of the feet, up the legs, all the way to the heart space. Exhale, just relaxes. Energy will go where it needs to go. Tracking that energy on every breath in, pulling it all the way up to the heart. And next we'll be taking this energy to the throat center. Drawing that earth energy up on each inhale. You might notice that it's really filling up your legs now. Legs getting more full with this earth energy. All the way to the throat area. And then we'll be drawing it all the way to our crown. Inhale, pulling that earth energy up from the bottoms of the feet, all the way up the legs, up the upper body, all the way to the top of the head, and then just relaxing. containing the energy within your body or allowing it to flow down through the bottoms of the feet. Either one's perfectly fine. You might find it helpful to roll your eyes up on the inhale to help pull that earth energy up to the top of your head, to that crown center. Okay, now as you continue to breathe, continuing to pull that earth energy up to your crown, on the exhale, I'd like to invite you to release that energy out your crown. That energy cascading down the outside of your body like a waterfall. Breathing further relaxation. Creating that toroid now, because as you release it out the crown, that energy goes back down and then you pull it back up through the bottoms of your feet on the inhale. So you have a cyclical, energetic breath happening. Okay. And now I'd like you to come on back to this room, open your eyes. When you're ready, no rush. You can always move your fingers and toes if that helps you to come back to me. Okay, well, you all pretty relaxed now? Grounded? A little calmer. We kind of need this. This Conscious Life Expo is epic, but boy, there's a lot of energy, isn't there? So we need these practices that help keep us grounded so we can work with all those amazing energies and all these great people that are around us. So I'm going to talk some more about Fractilline healing. So we've talked a little bit about level 1 and all the amazing things that you can do in this space, right? So just a quick recap. We can do Akashic records. We can heal ourselves and others. We can connect with our animals. We can connect with our ancestors. We can connect with other family members and friends, right? So we can do distance healing in this space. But it's also a fantastic space if you want to do shadow work or belief work. So any theta healing people out there? Anybody who's ever done theta healing? Yeah, okay, couple. So you can take theta healing into this space. Anybody who's ever done kind of shadow work or belief work, any of those practices, you just do it inside this space, okay? Gosh, oh, I said you could ride a dragon. I'll invite you to ride a dragon if you'd like. So this is level 1. Now, level 2 is an entirely different location, but first we have to go through level 1. So I get asked often, well, you know, I've been doing spiritual things for like lifetimes, so I kind of know a lot. So can't I just do level 5? And I say, actually, sorry, we have to start with level 1 because that's what enters us into the space. And level 1 prepares us for level 2. So level 2 is we're going deeper into Fractilline healing, and it's called the manifestation platform. So guess what it's really good at? Manifesting. So it is also bordering the void. So if you're somebody who really likes to go hang out in the void because it's kind of a cool place to go visit once in a while, right? You can just jump right in off the platform. It's not more complicated than that. If you do a void meditation, it can take a really long time to get quiet enough to be able to get into that space. Where in Fractilline healing, it's kind of like Monopoly. It's like, okay, when I go past go, collect $200, get in the void. It's very simple. It's very systematic. So we can really come to know this space and trust the path that we take to get there. Anyway, the manifestation platform is another energy. It's an entirely different energy from the grid. And it's good with manifesting. It's also good for those shadow energies because it naturally draws out those lower vibrational energies. The space is charged that way, that if your being is ready, willing, and able to release something, it will have a much easier time doing it within this space. You can do this work in the grid, but it's even easier in the platform. So that's level 2. Level 3 is called the sun. And we go into this space, another completely different energy, and you can literally sun gaze at this sun. So if any of you have ever sun gazed, like outside sun gazed, it's all the same frequencies. You can stand there and sun gaze. It's super cool. Very unique frequencies for everyone. Of course, you're going to receive what you are needing, requiring, and even asking for. You can always ask the sun to give you something specific. You can also, for level 4, we enter the sun. And this is pretty much where I stop teaching, because this is a very specific space for an individual person. So I don't go in and say, this is what you'll find. I say, you will be invited in when you're invited in. But I explain in the workshops how you get in. But you'll be invited when you're invited. And then for those who are really wanting to deep dive into their own development, and all things greater, we have level 5. So you have to go through the sun. You have to walk through the sun in order to get to level 5. And when we get to level 5, this is called the hologram. And this space, to be honest, freaked me out the first few times I went in. It was intense because I saw my avatar floating there, and I realized I had a control panel and I could change things within my being. And I could even place my being in certain situations and see how my energy body, how my being would respond to those situations. So let's say I'm like, oh, well, what would my being look like in a forest? And you can watch or perceive, however it is you perceive, what happens to your being, your avatar, your physical vessel. So those are some of the things that you can do in level 5. But level 5 is getting into a space where those protections that we talked about in levels 1 and level 2, especially those 2 levels, where we're guarded and sort of protected against ourselves or about our own ignorance, that all goes away for level 5. Level 5, you're on your own. And that's a lot of responsibility. So if you make a change, there's no like safety net. So you just have to be aware of that. But it's the ultimate free will space. And if you're familiar with tarot, my teacher actually told me when I was sharing this level with her, she said, it is the equivalent of the high priestess in tarot. So for those of you who know what that means, there you go. So let's see. How would you like to go into level 1? Yes. Yeah, you guys are ready. All right, enough talk. Let's experience it. I feel ya. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to go through that grounding meditation. We're going to do it a lot faster now because you guys have all done it. You're all grounded. Then we're going to feel out into our energy field. How many of you have done a meditation where you feel out into your aura 3 feet around you? Okay, so we're going to be doing that. I'll walk you through that. I call it the 6 direction meditation because it's front, back, side, up and down. Okay, we're going to be feeling into that whole space. And this is what helps us get into the zone where we can connect with Fractilline healing. So we're still grounded, we're still present in our body, we're just expanding our awareness into other realms. Okay, all right. So nice comfortable seat. Let's take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Shake off all this chit chat. I'm going to move closer to the microphone. There we go. Hey. I want to make sure you can all hear me. All right, so let's begin. I do recommend keeping your eyes closed for this one. If you are not a visual person, it is totally fine. You are going to sense whatever it is that you sense. Okay, we're going to be describing it as if you can see visually, but this is work with your unique perception, okay? Your unique gifts and talents. It's all perfectly fine. So we'll begin by inhaling that earth energy up. Let's go all the way to our hips this time. So nice big inhale draws that earth energy up from the bottoms of the feet, up the legs, and all the way to the hips. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. Okay, now we're going to draw that earth energy up to our heart space. Inhale draws that earth energy from the bottoms of the feet all the way to the heart. On your exhale, you're just relaxing, allowing that energy to either flow back down or expand or stay, whatever it needs to do. No worries. Just focusing on pulling that earth energy into your body from the bottoms of the feet, all the way to your heart. And from the heart, we're going to draw it all the way to the top of your head, to your crown. So let's pull that earth energy up. You can engage your muscles if you need to. Drawing that earth energy up, rolling your eyes up to help pull that energy to your crown, if that's helpful. And then just relaxing, keeping that energy within for the moment. And then on your next exhale, you can release it out your crown. Inhale draws the earth energy up through the whole body, all the way to the top of the head. And then releasing it out your crown on the exhale. And then breathing like this now for a moment. Inhale, drawing earth energy up. Exhale, releasing out the crown. And as you continue to breathe like this, I'll invite you now to take your perceptive abilities and reach out 3 feet out into space, out your right side. So inhale draws the earth energy up. Exhale releases out the crown, and then tune in to your side body, right side body, 3 feet out into space. And then we're going to tune into our front body 3 feet out into space. So we're going to draw that earth energy up from the bottoms of the feet, all the way to the top of the head, releasing it out the crown on your exhale when you're ready. And then tuning into your front body 3 feet out into space. We're connecting in with the edge of our aura, our energy field. And once you have made connection with your front body 3 feet out into space, let's connect it with the right side 3 feet out into space. Best to do that on the exhale, so you draw that earth energy up, release out the crown, and then tune in to the right side body out in space and the front body out in space, both at the same time. And if it's not super strong for you, no problem. Just work with what you've got and continue to breathe. And next we'll be going out our left side. So we can draw that earth energy up from the bottoms of the feet, all the way up the body, releasing it on the exhale, out the crown, and then tuning into our left side body 3 feet out into space. And then as you make contact with that left side, you can join it with the front and right side bodies. So that's 3 directions now simultaneously. You may find that a little bit stronger now. You're starting to get the hang of connecting those dots, but no problem if it's still not very clear for you. And now we're going to take our attention out our back body. So drawing that earth energy up, releasing out the crown, tuning into our back side, 3 feet out into space. And as you make contact with that space back there, you can connect it with your side bodies and your front body all at the same time. Remembering to breathe fully and deeply. It helps to continue with this breath, and on the exhale, that's when we connect in to our aura. And now we're going to go 3 feet above our head. So nice big inhale, draws that earth energy up, release out the crown on the exhale, and then reach up with your feeling body. Feel out there 3 feet above the head. And then as you make contact with that, you can connect it with your front, sides, and back bodies all simultaneously. Continuing your breath, drawing that earth energy up, releasing out the crown every time, focusing on that. And then tuning in to the side bodies in those 5 directions. We're up to 5 directions. And then we'll be taking our attention 3 feet down into the ground. So inhale, draws that earth energy up. Release out the crown on the exhale. Then bring your attention 3 feet down into the ground. Every time remembering to breathe fully, making that connection down into the ground. And once you've connected down there as best as you can, we connect it with all the other directions. Front, sides, up, down, back, all the directions now are connected to 6 directions. And now we're just going to breathe like this, feeling into these 6 directions as best we can, feeling what we feel. Nice full breaths, keeping that energy flowing. And now, from the darkness of your mind's eye, sense, perceive, feel this glimmering, shimmering, horizontal line far off in the distance. And as you perceive this horizontal line, you notice it vibrating, almost dancing with the rhythms of love, with the rhythms of the universe. And you see this horizontal line and perceive it as you do. And as this becomes more into focus, as you become maybe moving towards it or it moving towards you, you notice a vertical line which intersects this horizontal line, also glimmering and shimmering and vibrating with the rhythms of love and the universe, almost dancing. And as these lines come more and more into focus, as you move closer to one another, you notice that there are more vertical and horizontal lines of this nature, this glimmering, shimmering, spectacular vibration, creating a 3-dimensional grid pattern. Might even call forward your heart because of its exquisite beauty. And eventually, you find yourself floating towards one of these lines. You're getting very close to one of these lines now, and you start to perceive how large this line actually is. You realize it's a tube, and you could even go inside it. There's space for you. So you arrive at the edge of one of these grid lines. It can be vertical, it can be horizontal, whichever one you were called towards, it doesn't matter. And I invite you now to jump on in as if you're jumping into a pool of water. And as you do so, your chakras are aligned, your etheric matrix is aligned, and you are suspended in this beautifully comfortable location within the grid line, floating effortlessly. And breathe. And just notice this space. What does it feel like for you? Now it's possible to move around. So I invite you to try moving a little bit. Can you walk in here? Can you run? Could you do a cartwheel? Or perhaps you don't want to walk or run or do a cartwheel. Perhaps you would rather swim or fly. So I invite you to play. Allow that inner child to come out and explore this very interesting yet supportive, highly vibrational versions of all the dimensions of love, all the ways we can tune in to this space. You might see things, you might hear things. Some of you might perceive codes. That's great. You can call in a dragon if you'd like to ride a dragon, or you'd like to build yourself a castle. You're welcome to do so. Or anything else you can perceive. Perhaps ride in a hot air balloon. Our imagination in this space has so much room to explore and create, and it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be full of joy. Now I'm going to introduce you to something very special. So while you've been moving around, hopefully a little bit, I would like to invite you to turn to your right within this space. So all you have to do is, don't think about it too much, just turn to your right. And off in the distance is this golden sphere. And this golden sphere is floating towards you. It's so happy to see you. It's so happy. And it's bouncing and swaying and moving along, coming up towards you. And then it pauses about 6 feet away. You know, social distancing, being polite. And you are given the opportunity to greet one another. Thank you for coming. So happy to see you. This golden sphere energy is just this golden ball of love, and it is highly healing. So we're going to ask this spectacular, beautiful, sweet golden sphere if it would assist us in the best possible ways today. Now, if you do have something, an ailment of some kind that you'd like a little support with, you can ask specifically for a healing from the golden sphere, and or you may just invite the golden sphere to assist you in whatever you need help with today, right? So we'll ask the golden sphere if it could please assist us in whatever way is necessary for us today in this moment. And the golden sphere obliges. And the golden sphere moves closer and starts circling you before it eventually settles somewhere within or around your being. It settles in and starts working away. Now, for some of you, this golden sphere might split off into multiple golden spheres, or it may just stay intact, working away, bubbling, transmuting, releasing, healing, aligning, doing whatever it needs to do for you in this moment. So I'll let you just be with the golden sphere for a moment, continuing to breathe and perceive. And then as the golden sphere completes its healing, it begins to expand. So it grows bigger and bigger, expanding, taking up more space, filling your body more and more with this golden energy. Is growing and growing and growing until it pops and fills you up with golden light. And breathe. This golden energy filling every inch of your being, all the way down to the adamantine particles, which are the particles of love, all vibrating in this beautiful, coherent, golden energy. And then the golden sphere is going to retract itself, but it's going to leave you completely full with the golden energy. So the golden sphere moves out of your body now. It's about 2 feet away, hasn't gone far, still with you, but you are full of this golden light and it is yours. This is your energy. And the golden sphere moves a little further away now. 3 feet, 4 feet, not far. But just far enough that you start to understand that the energy you're feeling is your own. And it's with you. And we'll thank the golden sphere for its assistance today. And now it's time for us to find our way back. So we're going to float or drift upwards. And what we're doing is we're heading towards the barrier of that grid line. And we're going to deepen our breath. Bringing our breath back to that grounding where we're pulling that earth energy up from the bottoms of the feet. And we're releasing it out the crown on the exhale. And we'll cross over that barrier of the grid line. Continuing to breathe fully and deeply. Now we're outside the grid. And now I invite you to contain that breath. So we're going to pull that earth energy up from the bottoms of the feet all the way to the crown, and then we're going to keep it in our bodies. We're not releasing it out the crown. We're going to keep that body in that energy in the body. And you can let it flow back down out through your feet if you wish, or you can just let it be in your body. Either way is fine. Focusing just on that breath very simply. And then as you're ready, you can begin feeling this room, wiggling your fingers and toes, and opening your eyes No hurry, no rush. We'll give you all a minute here just to settle back in. Do a little stretch, have a little drink. That felt emotional to me. Did you, were you emotional with that golden sphere? Yeah. You guys did so well. You did really well.
So, how come we went to this place? Is it because you brought us? Can we do it by ourselves tonight? Is it going to be the same?
The question is, if you can now do this meditation on your own, or if you require me. You don't require me. You can go into this space. Your being now knows how to get there. Okay. If you feel lost, then I do have a YouTube channel. And I have this basic meditation without the golden sphere. The golden sphere was special for you. That's something that I usually reserve for my Fractilline healing workshops.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is called Light Codes by Laara. You can also find it under Tigress of the Light. If you look under Light Codes by Laara, Laara is Laara. So on this YouTube channel, we have two videos that are connected with Fractilline healing. The first one is like, watch me first. And that's because we go over what we talked about, where you're going, what it looks like, that it's safe, things like this, because we are going into a newer space. It is a new space for our being. So we like to know what we're getting into, right? So that's what that one is about. And then the second video is the actual meditation, which we just did, and it's simply going to be the grounding meditation. We go the 6 directions, and then I get you into the grid where you can hang out and chill for a few minutes, and then we bring you back out. So in the workshop, we talk about everything that we've talked about today, but there's, of course, so many things that you can do in this space, and so we go over how we can do healings. Like, I can heal myself in this space. I do, on occasion, distance healings, and I use Fractilline healing because it is so powerful for doing distance healings for people, as well as animals, of course, and you can do entire regions. You can do, like, what do you want to heal, right? There's no limit. We're in the quantum realm of unlimited potential and possibility. So Fractilline healing really harnesses that, and it has the power, the amplitude to host that sort of healing. So with the level 1, we go over working with the golden sphere, healing ourselves and others, how we can connect with our ancestors and our guidance and things like of that nature, as well as a very useful, I feel, technique of centering, because so many of us get knocked off our center, right? Like, there's so many things in this world that can just throw us for a loop, and we need to have tools that really help us come back and be centered and grounded and present and in our power. Fractilline healing is really good for inner authority and power. So I'm curious, show of hands who enjoyed that. everybody. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Do you have any questions on that whole process or anything that came up for you that you'd love to share?
So you can create where, like right now we call it a meditation. So it's earth terms.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like creating that where that is us. So we're here and we're there at the same time, which is a theme of coming to learn how to do that. So like, and then going through the sun, you could be that person here and help other people, and you can bring them with you like what you did for us. Bring them with you to show them this too.
Okay, so with Fractilline healing, we can do guided meditation. We could bring a client into the grid. We could do that. I don't. I find that I am of better service as a healer to just give them a very simple meditation, like heart math technique, like heart focused breathing, get them in a nice coherent space, and then I bring them into the space in an energetic way that it takes some describing, so that's something that we go over in the workshop. But we can bring them in and they get the alignments just like you experience, where you get the chakra alignment and the etheric alignment. They get all that, and then you work on them as if they are standing before you. So that's how I work. I do have students who offer the level 1 as a meditation, like that for their clients. That's been wonderful. They've had a lot of success with that. People just are like, oh my God, please take me into this space, and they're so happy to be guided. So it's very good for that. Level 2 isn't. You could work with clients in this space the same way we would work in level 1, but I find that 99% of people, 99% of clients don't require level 2. Level 2 is getting into more of a personal experience. So the thing that's interesting with Fractilline healing is that it's not only a healing modality for like a professional healing modality, but it's your own exploration and development and command. You know, we all want to be more anchored and grounded and strong in our being, right? And bringing forth our best and highest aspects in self, right? So this is a platform, a multi-leveled platform, which assists us in each level in a different way to do that. So when we work with a client, level 1 is great for that, because it has all the energies that you need to work with a client. Level 2, you're getting into the manifestation and doing deeper, like shadow work and things like this. You can bring a client in there, but it's rare. Level 3, no client in there. This is now a sacred space for the individual to experience when they are ready. I find a lot of people, it depends where they're at on their path, whether they're ready to even see level 3. And then the same goes for level 4. Even the people who get into level 3, they're like, man, well, you need to just hang out here for a little bit before we even think about going into level 4. And then the people who are in level 4 is like, oh my God, I think it's going to be a little bit before I can go into level 5, like, because they're so profound and so powerful in each stage. So what I tell my students is work with clients in level 1. Everything past that is for you. Is for your own development, is for your own purpose. Yeah.
Do you have testimonials on the way this practice has an effect on your students?
Yes, I have testimonials. I have them on both my websites. So I have a fractilinehealing.com website, as well as lightcodesbylara.com. There's testimonials there, yeah.
So is this not really like a meditation to get energized? Because I came here in the room, I felt like I was good energy for the day, and then I'm here and I want to go to bed. Like that really grounded me to the point where I'm like, just like, you
Yeah.
know.
So the question is this like a calming or energizing thing? And the answer is both. It's whatever you need. So I find I have to sit up when I do this meditation or I will be asleep. So for the nights where you can't fall asleep, and I've had clients also tell me this and my students, this is a fabulous way to fall asleep, is this meditation. But if you're tired, then it's a really good way to just be naturally energized. Like I feel right now like I've just had a cup of coffee, but without all the jitters. I feel like my energy body is way more coherent now, and it's flowing. That's how I feel. I feel very happy.
I was wondering on behalf of the group if you would be willing to do a channeling specifically for this group to help infuse the understanding of the Fractilline healing system and just channel some light language.
Okay. Would you all like a light language channeling?
Yes.
Okay.
And can you also throw in light language activation on us?
That's a natural byproduct. Here's a hint. You don't need to be activated. Did I just say that? Okay. So, how many of you have heard light language before? Okay, so we have like a pretty experienced group. So my light language is channeled from source through the centurions. So for those of you who like all that starseed stuff, the centurions are the librarians of our universe. They collect all this wonderful information from all these different starseeds, so like the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Sirians, and so on. So all those different star families put all their information into the Centurion library. So the light language that I speak is not only of source, but it's funneled through this library where it's picking up the resonance of all these different starseed languages. Okay, so if you are one who resonates with the Pleiadians, for example, you can resonate with the light language that I channel, with the energy that I channel, because it's inclusive of the Pleiadians, it's inclusive of the Arcturians, it's inclusive of the Sirians, and so forth. Okay. I hope you can come to my talk on light language tomorrow. But in any case, we're going to channel for you. What did you want me to do? Now I've forgotten.
Just to help anchor in the
Anchor in the
Fractilline
okay.
healing system.
Fractilline light language. Yes. So you all have just experienced a very profound and multidimensional healing system, which can be a lot for the brain to comprehend, but it can also be a lot for the energy bodies to assimilate and connect with. So we want to always be connecting in with the heart space whenever we work with something like this Fractilline healing, or of course when we're channeling this light language. Is it helpful for you to, that I'm translating this? Okay. Okay. I do want you to tune into the energy of the light language. It's not about the words that I'm saying, but it's the energy that's coming forward. So I want you to tune into that as well, not just rely on the translation, okay? So we're going to offer you a light language healing now, which would not be so much of the translation, because we want the all of your energy bodies to really take in what you've just experienced and connect it and assimilate it and ground it into your being as just being a wonderful, comprehensive experience. Okay, So this part won't be translated. Pakano sola namati shanadayatanam panatagamesi tananti kanatagabatzeta nat kanati takanatagotana soto panati tanano matayu shachanonama Tatakana daya sana itaria tanikutabesi panati tanano takamasa china namatakana tugosoto yeto ilana pankana sita shutukamati totamata lama mataya pana hana takamata tonomasa. Keep breathing. Nice big breaths, everybody. Pakana so tina tia shichina takiano topatana Pana soichina, takamontia, so ananea, manaya, no, yanama, pasi atinato, pasi atinato, homa, manaya, mosakano, tikanogo, tinantika takamontea, so tia, to, patane si china, takiano, botayata. So we really hope that this experience is something that you can take deeply into your hearts, that you can deeply enter into this heart space and anchor it within your whole being so that you emanate this sacred energy everywhere you go as the divine, sublime light being that you are. Sanichi tat kanot kobatai sano patakena seita patakiat kobata koto soto toko tako matia so tamatia toko takana tayata nat tikamanaya. I'm feeling like this group would like you all want an initiation. You all want it. Okay. Okay. Hayatana mataya sayatana mataya dak ama ayasotak mat amayat ayadak anogat amayat amoya yosotinga nonata halatakamana hayatakamaya hapana hayatayata kota pasay junana kota yata yosamati yatanyata yosama hona mata yasaya hayatakamasana hana hayano 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 haya hamanana hey hona masayiti yo ho hapana hoyotomataya nana hotamataye nesia tia po suya shia no turn masaya tia ma haya data zona mati nokamasaya hayana haya ama. So na matakiana. Shorter kamote. Ay saya tikiana na saya. Saya hana ma. Ho wa. Hoyo. Hana nama. If you feel called to speak, you are welcome. Just speak it. Just speak it. Kana tama. Sinati nyumpataya tana. Samachiano kamatayat kana tematsaya. Honna. 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 Hayana samaya takyamasayada homa. 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 Hana sayana nasa hoya. 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 Sama Kananaya Sayana Doyana Masayana Haya Haya Sayama so all of you are fully capable, if you haven't already embraced that about yourselves, you're fully capable of speaking, channeling light language, if you so choose. And a lot of it has to do with just getting out of our own way, of course. I wish it was easier than that. Tuning into the heart space. Light language is a language of the heart, is the language of love when it's channeled appropriately, right? Which is what we're all here for. We're here to be the divine, sublime, loving beings that we are. So this language that gets to come forth is an expression of that love. How you choose to speak it is unique to you, but the energy is all that is. How you choose to say the words, or draw it, or sign it, or dance it, is unique to you. And so you are encouraged to develop this beautiful skill, if that's a calling for you. And if you do speak it, there's a little tidbit. If you do speak light language, I do honestly say it's a good idea to record yourself and then play it back, because when you channel it versus watching it, there's two different actions. One is an output and the other is an intake. So you speak light language and then you watch the playback, you receive it very differently than when it came through you. Yeah, there's a question somewhere. Yeah.
How come there's so many different intonations and almost like different languages? Because I've been around quite a few people who can speak it, and like sometimes mine's really slow and deep, but then I have friends who are like very high and fast. And is that from different? I know I'm an Arcturian, but is that linked to that, to different planets that you come from?
Yes, so the light language that, the sounds that we speak, and how the manner in which we speak the light language is connected to the different star seeds, so the Arcturians or the Pleiadians or so on. So you will find that there are commonalities between the people who say they channel Pleiadian, for example, that there will be commonalities with that group in the tones that are used, and also in written. You know, Pleiadian has its own kind of thing, Arcturian has its own kind of thing. You know, this like there's similarities between them, but there are also differences. But beyond that is the energy. So we can get, our mind likes to really overanalyze a lot of stuff. That's normal, it's part of being human, right? And we have to remember to come back to the energy, and at the end of the day, it's always about the energy that's coming through. So if we're connected to the Arcturians and we're channeling Arcturian energy, that's a specific range of frequencies that comes through. And how that's expressed is in the actual words that are said, like could be very different than someone who says something the same way in Pleiadian.
What I find fascinating is we can converse, whether it's one person's starseed coming from one different aura to the other. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't understand the conversation at least at my level. But I find it fascinating that we're doing two different languages, and yet
it's all one language.
Exactly, the comprehensive essence.
It's the energy. So we can, so she's just saying we can communicate no matter where, someone is from or the energy they're associated with. You can still communicate, because at the end of the day, it's all language. It's all the energy It's the energy that's behind it. And that's how you can tell someone who is speaking light language, actually speaking light language, and someone who's making it up. Is there energy behind it? Is there energy behind it? Or is it just gibberish? Because it is actually gibberish. That is gibberish. It's not anything, but it's the energy that gets put behind it that gives it meaning. And that's why you can converse and communicate with someone speaking any kind of light language. It's all about the energy.
So when you were conversing with her, what were you both saying?
Well, it was all about this activation for the group. So she was bringing in some different energies simultaneously, and I was saying, yeah, bring that in, and amplifying it for her because I have a microphone and she doesn't. So we were really, like, I was seeing the great, beautiful energy that wanted to come in for this entire group, and supporting that, and so that was the back and forth. And then a few other people were bringing in their own expertise to share as well. So there's a few of you who are all in that moment and in that vibe, and adding your 2 cents to it, and that was really beautiful. And I was like, yeah, bring it on, like let's go, let's get everybody rocking here. Yeah, very cool.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, you and then you.
There was a similar question earlier. How do we know if it's like just gibberish, or if it's really like the like language or something comes from within, or with the energy that you're saying?
You feel it. You feel it. You feel the energy, and that's how we know if it's authentic or not. So it's a practice.
Yeah.
It's a practice. So for me, I have a lot of study in energy healing, and I've been channeling a long time. And that spirit writing that I shared in the beginning, that was really what got this going. And then eventually, Spirit literally told me, we need you to just get yourself out there, like on social media or whatever, right? And they're like, just talk. It doesn't even matter what you say, just talk. I was like, really? And then I figured out, oh, it's the light language. It doesn't matter what you say, just talk and get the energy out. The energy has to come through. And so put that together, and then you're really stepping into whatever it is that you came here to do, maybe, I don't know. But that energy is what you tune into. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who channel light language and they're figuring it out. And so that the energy can be a bit incoherent. So that's something as an observer just to be aware of. If it doesn't feel good, then we can maybe not listen to that. We want to always make the energy coherent. That's what makes it powerful. So we first need to be coherent within ourselves. So we have to do our good work, our good healing work, and do practices like, honestly, Fractilline healing is so good. It gets you, it anchors you. It gets you coherent, it gets you in your body, but it gets you so expanded, and it gets you able to move this energy through your whole being and feel it, and then you can connect with your guidance and different beings and ask them for help for things, and that all counts, right? It's all part of your development. Yeah. You had a question?
The Fractilline healing, is that what you use to get over your physical injuries? And if so, how often did you do it?
I didn't have Fractilline healing when I hurt my back riding the horses. Unfortunately, I'm sure that would have been very helpful. I have used it for some injuries since then. It's been helpful. I've had students who have had like this ongoing shoulder issue. They go in and it gets fixed immediately. I'm like, wow, that's cool. So things like that do happen. We can work on all levels of the being within this space: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So it's pretty cool. Like you can, in the level 1, we talk about how to treat ourselves and others, because it's a very similar experience, but we basically get to perceive ourself from outside of ourselves. And then we get to work on whatever the issue is. And that can include the emotions too. You know, it's all connected, so.
Is it the type of thing you do daily, or?
You could do it daily. I don't. I find it very powerful. And I can hop in and out pretty quickly now, as I've gotten really used to it. So I might pop in to maybe do the chakra, get everything aligned, and pop out, or pop in to do the golden sphere, just so that we can get that energy going really well. But it's not something that I would necessarily do on a daily basis. I might do it 3 times a week. For me is perfect. And I like to go deep then. If I go once or twice a week into a deeper level, because that kind of keeps everything on track. But for just like a quick fix, then you can hop into the grid, do the golden sphere. Like the rest of my day is going to feel a lot better now. Like I should have done this last night, but I was tired and didn't. You know. Yeah. All right.
Book signing.
Oh, right. We have a book signing after this in like 2 minutes, whenever we're just about done here. But we have a book signing somewhere. Where?
It's 1 floor up, and I think there's a book signing area. Is it called the
Oh, we're going to get some help. The mezzanine. Something about a mezzanine.
Just 1 floor, it's actually 2 floors up on the mezzanine.
2 floors up on the mezzanine. Okay, there's a whole book signing section up there somewhere. Anyways, I'm going to be there with some of my international best-selling books. Would love to see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So, on the second level, I feel lucky. And then when you just say finished, I open my eyes.
Yep, that happens.
It's like, she just finished. Okay, what was I? Okay, so what's the meaning of that?
You went into a different zone, but you were with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing, yeah?
Yes.
It's just like,
Yes. You're not the first person who's experienced that. That's wonderful. Yeah. Just because it was working at different levels and you had to go on practice with it. Oh, yeah.
I know that you're about to run through the signings, but I just wanted to give you confirmation because they gave me confirmation. So I'm not new to that. And one of my spirit sisters, whatever you call her, in Lionsgate, like 2021, said we need to gather again and start to work together. So weekly, the first week we did it for a full week every day. And then we started to gather weekly. Since then, we're still going. And we come together, we're like, what's the collective need? And so very often everybody's in the grid.
Have you gone to the platform at another level?
I haven't, not in that way. I have experienced the sun in that way. Through light worker, right? Like I connect very strongly with the sun. And I also work with frequencies, and that's a whole other conversation. And so I've been taught how to do that. And then the other thing which I just wanted to share was we were introduced to liquid crystal, and and I don't know many people who work with liquid crystals, so it was really inspiring for me to see, because I was like, I'm told clearly like I need to introduce people to it, and teach them how to work with it. Because very much like the grid, right? Like that it's like you have to be introduced to it, because there's a like responsibility. That's not the right word.
There
but
is
it's
a
like,
responsibility.
But it's you know, it's not something that is taken lightly. So thank you. It's very. I walked into the expo 5 minutes before your presentation, your workshop today. I was like, I knew I wanted to come. So
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
So, did I understand correctly that you have worked with this
We have a pamphlet at my booth that'll give you the link to our website. The website is just like Codes by Laara or Tigers of the Light. It's on the mezzanine, so it's up 2 floors.
Okay.
And it's, do you know where the Century workshop rooms are? We're on our way. Yeah, B25 is my, well, it was enjoying seeing you and meeting you.
Hi, first of all, welcome. You answered a question that I didn't even know I had, which in the Iboga experience, which is a medicine from Africa, like the highest intelligence I've ever encountered. I actually had the sun appear in my basically dark room. Sun appeared, started downloading codes, showed me how to properly sound guys, like do the like black center energy ball, then like cross would form, and if I would change the focus, the cross was tilted, all of that stuff. And it exploded my third eye.
Yeah.
And then night number 2, I witnessed a war between the ancient gods. Poseidon was mad at mankind, wanted to steal the eye of Ra, which is the sun, wanted to throw in like a meteorite on the earth and create it to blood, to create blood. Right. And I'm like, I can't let that happen, so I talked to Ra, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna keep your eye safe so it doesn't create blood. And he's like, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna put a fake eye in there, and I'm gonna make it to the atmosphere.
All right, that's a good
Keep
idea.
your real one safe. And he said, what do you want to do with it? I'm going to eat it. It's like, well, you're going to know that in order to hold the power of the sun, you have to become the sun. Right. Like, okay, makes sense. When I learned firewalking, they amp you up to the energy of the fire, and then it can't burn it. I went outside, it was already daytime, stared into the sun around 9 a.m. Wow. It's like this, like, I don't know, for minutes, disappeared, turned golden yellow, entire body. Yeah. And I said, I am Ra! The sun came in. Instantly, my tummy bloated. I was pregnant with the sun. Wow. And all kinds of other stuff happened. And, well, then I had to die because otherwise I said, thank you so much for your service. Blood won't happen. Humanity is safe. Now you gotta give the sun back. But unfortunately, you won't survive this. You will die of a heart attack. Whoa. I had to go through all kinds of stuff. I ripped my heart out, purged the sun out, then I created it, put it back in. So that was my trick to get around it. Anyways, when I heard you talk about level 3, level 4 today, I was like, oh wow, maybe that's what was happening there, and I had no idea it was about the sun. So thank you so much. I was like, I kind of just came here by accident. Yeah. No accident. Second one was also I've been channeling light language for quite a while, and I rarely know exactly what you're saying, but I do feel the energy. And is there any advice that you have to learn how to translate it? I get words. She keeps repeating them. She keeps repeating them.
Feel the energy. As you practice, you'll make a connection between what you're feeling and the thoughts that come. Yeah. Because the energy will be powerful.
I mean, sometimes I get it, but I
draw the thought. And so paying attention to the thought. And not judging it. Because it might be really feeling like it's off balance. But it's words that might come in like feel off. But you have to trust it. Watch my YouTube videos as well because it translates a lot. So it's a good practice. Listen this planet, right? So the same energy maybe filters through the door. Different words, but it means the same. You know what I mean? Like it'll just be your language as opposed to.
It was interesting also when you went into I do the same, like the same rhythm. I'm like, it's a different language, but it was the same rhythm and the same feel to it. So thank you so much. It was like an unexpected, beautiful blessing.
Well, tomorrow we'll go down. Yes, for 6 o'clock.
Okay, great.
So light language.
I'll try to be very short. Thank you so much. I really enjoy the workshop. Thank you so much. For the Fractilline, when you see the lines, horizontal and vertical, do you see them as a cross?
They do intersect, so they make like a grid pattern. Like graph paper? Graph paper, like in school we use it for math, doing like drawing triangles and stuff like that. So it's like that. It's like lines like that, and then they intersect like this, and it goes on.
Okay.
Grid. So it's like big like that, and it's 3-dimensional. So like you can even explore the space outside of the grid and just go and like fly around.
So
Also.
would you say that when you go into like this kind of tunnel, you're just like connected to maybe some sort of dimension when you have a bigger perspective of the...
Absolutely, that happens too. It's very multi-dimensional, and even within the space there are other multiple dimensions.
So you're creating the connection like to your body, and that's why the healing just goes right away.
Because so we started grounded, and we never astral projected, we stayed, and we just expanded ourselves. So we expanded our whole perception so that we could perceive in the way that we uniquely perceive things, this structure, and then we enter into it, and then work from there. But we're still in our body. Like our body gets very relaxed, and like when we go into like the deeper ones, like maybe level 3 or 4, and further, like the body eventually gets really restless. It's like, oh my god, you're just sitting forever, and that's my cue to come out, because it could be an hour, I'll be in there an hour, and be like busy and having the time of my life. Like it's so cool to play, but then the body's like, oh my god, I've got to move here. Yeah.
So these levels, do you give them in virtual?
Yeah, virtual workshops. Yeah, we do Zoom. Yeah, so we've got clients all over the world.
And how long does it last?
Level 4 is, level 1 is 4 sessions, and they're 90 minutes
and
each session.
You said it's like each week, each month?
I'm doing sort of 4 sessions in 2 weeks, so 2 each week. That's level 1. We have the same for level 2. Level 3 is only 2 sessions, so that gets done in a week. And it's 3/4 because I can't invite anybody into level 4. That's something that the individual is guided to do when it's appropriate. But we show you how to, like what would happen. And then once a student is comfortable in level 4, very easy to go in and out of that space, then they're ready for level 5 if they want to take on level 5. And this one, I did it in 2 days. Yeah.
So we can say this was the first session at level 1, or no? It was
kind of. It's kind of the equivalent. I sort of combined a little bit from like the first and second day of a level 1. There's things that I left out, things that we would go over still, and there's more to learn about level 1. Like
feel the
Okay.
body, or we can getting it, and it's just that she wants to touch things.
Yes.
It's really tense, and it can go like from me.
Yes.
I know it's not stuff to move around before I can go.
Yes.
You don't understand what it is and what I do.
Uh,
Same with the light language.
It's a lot of it's just a lot of energy, and your nervous system can't process it without the shaking. So your nervous system, you can either be happy with that, or you can look into upgrading the nervous system so that your body can take in more frequencies with greater ease. So that's something that Fractilline would actually likely be good at, because there's such a huge range of frequencies, and it's every time we're going in, we're being amplified and being able to connect into more energy and expanding ourselves. So that, and then and it's happening in the body too. So I would say that that's worth a shot if it's something that you want to move out. Otherwise, it's a nice confirmation that yeah, there's energy moving. Yeah.
And then another big thing is watching this I can tell you
Yes.
Yes, it's not enough, and he's listening to my cat mostly.
Oh, nice.
Because
Yeah. The cat understands.
Yeah, I'm still out there, and for me, it's really when you say go ahead, I'm like, I can speak it, and I'm like, a little bit,
Yeah, you did great. Yeah.
So, but can you put that on what I'm trying?
Potentially, we can do that. We should do that at another time. Are you able to come tomorrow?
Yeah, at 6 tomorrow.
Come at 6. Yeah, and let's talk about it there. Maybe we'll get into that. Would potentially be some really good activity.
Are you going to need the screen?
Because I'm still like, I don't know, but I want to know when it's getting
We're getting to that.
So
We're going to the website. Would you like to come to that?
Sure. We have different office hours.
Is that okay?
Oh my word, you're really, wow, thank you. I mean, I go deep, that was deep, yeah, and wow, look at this.
All right, you have a PowerPoint on this.
Across from me, and I looked at it yesterday.
Oh, my
When I
God.
held it, I said, no, take it back. He said, sure, exchange it. As soon as I had it, my boot got flooded with the I know you're going where I want to go.
Well, we're knowing that you are receiving that and more, because it's also for the lifting of others and yourself. So,
I like having it here. I thought it was
no, I've done some work and raised. I just want to let you know that I
Oh yeah, yeah. So I felt everybody jumped in because I get a confirmation. So when I do my workshops, there's 10 people and
Oh, I didn't even see it, sorry.
my God, so everybody's jumping in. Okay, we're all in.
I mean, I'm here all day, but I definitely would. So you're upstairs at the mezzanine, and what's part of the mezzanine?
I'm on,
Do you want to like have
on the
us
way
like
to
change the chairs?
The Century Rooms?
The chairs,
Okay.
I'm in the
as long as that
alcove, which I guess has never been moved before this year.
Yeah.
I guess Kappa said that that room
What is it? So it's the letters?
contemplate Expo, I guess.
Yeah.
So I have that alcove. It's just been phenomenal.
Okay, so I'm gonna do, you're gonna be here till what time?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Well, I guess over and along, it's supposed to be here like 8.
Okay, good. So I just want to come up and.
All right, there should be.
Well, and at least find out about your work in terms of when you do workshops or how they work. I'm a spiritual counselor by trade, and I'm opening up to my, I mean, I know like being like yourself, and opening up to it, just learn and like on a higher level to like getting the system deep for healing. Yeah. So I just completed the yoga training.
Where's the clicker? Auto.
Yeah.
You gotta find the clicker.
I think it's lost here.
Yeah, I'm gonna
God's convenience